All right, folks. So I got a little cut off, and I was talking about setting up your calculator. So I'm going to go back a little bit. So I had said you press mode, you scroll down to this row of real, and maybe on your calculator that real is highlighted. I need for you to scroll over so the cursor is flashing on the A plus BI and hit enter so that this is highlighted. And now what you can do is I'm going to quit out of this, so I just hit second mode to quit. And you can now actually just type this problem into your calculator. And the I button, I don't know if that got cut off, is right here above the decimal. So you just have to hit the second and then the decimal button to get you there. So I'm just going to type in exactly what I see. 3 plus 2i, and then other parentheses 2 minus 4i. And there's your answer, 14 minus 8i. How do you do this without the calculator? Well, you need to do distributing, or the neighbors meet the neighbors, as my students know it, and you have to remember that I squared is -1. So I was actually working on this problem when my computer stopped, but 3 distributes or meets the neighbors, and you get 6 minus 12i, and then 2i has to distribute or meet the neighbors, and I get 4i, and then minus 8 with I squared. And then when the I squared comes into play, that it's worth -1, then what I circled here can just become -8 times -1, since I squared is -1. And then multiply those together and you get 8. So what I did is I dropped down the 6, I combined these like terms for -8i, and now I'm going to bring the 8 that the circled part is worth. And then I can combine these like terms and get 14 minus 8i, which is what the graphing calculator said. All right, last one. A passenger on a stranded lifeboat shoots a distress flare into the air. The height, which is in feet, of the flare above the water is given by this function, where t is time in seconds since the flare was shot. Which of these sentences best represents the meaning of this point in context of this question? So, first I'm going to go to my y equals button, and I'm going to type in this equation. I do have to use the x's and not t's. So -16x squared plus 128x. And then what I'd like for you to do is press, again, if you're in my class, this might be set up for you already, but what I want you to do is press second window so that I don't really care about what's here, but I want you to go to this row that says auto, and if your auto on the independent row is highlighted, I want you to scroll to the right and change it so hit enter so ask is highlighted. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to our table by hitting second graph, and we're going to realize that time is like our x, and we're going to put these numbers in that they give us for a choice and see what we get for our height, because if we put our time in, we'll get our height. And if you already have numbers there, you can just type over them. So I'm going to type in 4 for 4 seconds, 8 for 8 seconds, 256 for 256, and 3 for 3. All right, first what I want to see is, do these numbers, did it get me there? And actually I should read the whole question. We didn't even have to do that part. So sorry about that. If we did graph this, you know, and you're in your little boat and you shoot off a flare gun, it's going to go up and come back down. All right? So after 4 seconds after the flare was fired, it re-entered the water, which means, and I take that back, we do want our table, that our height was 0. So our y value is 0. Or after 8 seconds after the flare was fired, it re-entered the water, so y is 0. Or after 256 seconds, we have a height of 4. Or after 3 seconds, we have a height or a y value of 192. So what I can do simply here, and I didn't read this soon enough, does 4, no, 4 gives me 256. So, and it says it's supposed to give me 0. So this is out. 8 gives me 0. So I'm going to keep this one in mind. 256 gives me, that's pretty much E, so, or 0, that one's out. And after 3 seconds, 3 gives me 240, and this says I was supposed to get 192, so it's out. But does this make sense? So after 8 seconds, it has re-entered the water. So if you want to see this graphed, now hit zoom 6. So just give it a moment. It's going up. It's coming back down. They do give us a window that we can type in, so I'm going to press the window and change my x min to -2 and my x max to 10, which it already is, and my y min to -400 and my y max to 300, and I'll hit graph one more time. So the shot is fired, it comes back down. So if this is you in the boat, it goes up in there, it comes back down. Is this 8 seconds? Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so we can definitely say 100% that that is, our answer. So there's 7 of your 10 capstone questions. If you can get 6 of those, you have passed capstone.